Back then, even though he was distant, saying little, it was still much better than how he was now. Lu Jinian finished showering in an instant, casually threw on a robe and started drying his hair with a towel as he walked out. Qiao Anhao was still at the same spot as when he had entered the bathroom, and he couldn't help frowning slightly. Taking large strides towards her side, he asked, "Didn't I tell you to go to where you're supposed to be? Or do you prefer this spot?" The moment he finished talking, he grabbed her arm, pushing her onto the sofa before lying on top of her. "Since this is what you want, I shall fulfill your desires. My body wants it after all." Qiao Anhao trembled slightly, lowering her lashes instinctively to hide the hurt in her eyes. Lu Jinian lowered his head. When he was preparing to kiss her, he suddenly remembered something and reached out to tug her chin up. Lifting her head, he forced her to look into his eyes before asking coldly, "Qiao Anhao, didn't you want to learn from Zhao Fian and Zhao Hidi? Two sisters sharing a husband?" Qiao Anhao was stunned by the random question he suddenly threw out. Before she could process his words, she was pushed against the hard floor yet again. With mocking in his voice, he continued to humiliate her. "Qiao Anhao, you climbed into my bed and became my woman, and now you praise your sister in front of me. Don't you find it disgusting?" Ever since the day they married, Lu Jinian had always been hurling cruel words at her. Even though she thought that she was immune to it, it still hurt every single time. Because she loved him, because she cared about him, she would always mind. Qiao Anhao paled. Praising her sister to him was considered disgusting. Lu Jinian tightened the grip he had on her chin, continuing, "Get this straight, I don't want her. You don't find sharing a man with your sister disgusting, but I do. Ever since the day I slept with you, I would never touch Qiao Anxia, so stop trying to praise her. I don't like her, and even if she thinks otherwise, it's all one-sided and has nothing to do with me." He shouted out that last part. He originally didn't want to explain himself after she started praising Qiao Anxia. She probably didn't care whether he had anything going on with other women, but deep down in his heart, he still couldn't help clarifying himself. In that moment, sadness and helplessness clouded his eyes. He clenched his teeth, lowered his head, and kissed hard her lips,